Theophilus Thistler, the thistle sifter, sifted a sea full of unsifted thistle. A sieve of unsifted thistle, Theophilus Thistler, the fibrous thistle sifter, sifted. If Theophilus Thistler, the fibrous thistle sifter, sifted a sea full of unsifted thistle, where is the sieve of unsifted thistle, Theophilus Thistler, the famous, the successful thistle sifter, sifted? Or, in Greco, εκκλησιά μολυβωτή, μολυβοκοντιλοπελεκητή. Ποιος είναι μολυβοκοντιλοπελέκης? Ο γιος του μολυβοκοντιλοπελεκητή. Δεν πέφτει ο πεύκος κάτω. Ο παπάς ο Παχής έφαγε παχιά φακή. Γιατί παπά Παχή έφαγες παχιά φακή? Βγαίνω κι εγώ και ο μαύρος μου και τα λαγωνικά μου. Βρίσκω μια κόρη που όπλαινε σε μαρμαρίνια γούρνα. Τη χαιρετάω, δεν μου μιλεί, της κραίνω, δεν μου κραίνει. Κόρη, για βγάλε μας νερό, την καλή μοίρα να έχεις, να πιω κι εγώ και ο μαύρος μου και τα λαγωνικά μου. This is how to pronounce. This is articulation, uttering of the voice, which is very important because uttering well the voice gives the voice intelligibility. The good use, the balance between consonants and vowels should be always on in order to be intelligible. Otherwise, nobody understands you. But this, the articulation, is just a little bit of this broad subject, which is the voice. The voice is us, is the way we present ourselves in front of other people. We make conversations. We talk about the values. We talk about what we have inside. The voice is us, or we are our voices. And I'll talk a little bit about how the voice works. First of all is the breath. Voice is breath. And the process of which the desire to communicate, because it all starts from there, puts into place and into functioning the vocal folds. They're actually not strings, chords, but they're folds. And they come together and they start vibrating, and from breathing, it becomes as simple as that. And then from here to here, it's just a sigh of relief. Do you really breathe now? Please make sure your breath is happening. When you say that, almost everybody realize they don't breathe. They breathe shallowly here in the chest. And their breath is not full. So make sure your breath is happening. From here to here, it's just a sigh of relief. And then from here, from now on, a very gentle activity of the lips, of the tongue, and a little bit of the jaw takes over, and they become consonants and vowels. So, if I put my lips together, it is to become M. And if I put my lips close, up. Otherwise, P is not heard. But this is only a small part of the big subject of the voice. How the voice works. The voice works because there is an impulse in the motor cortex of the brain. And this impulse gives a command to the breath to come in. And how breath comes in? It's the diaphragm. Everybody have known the diaphragm, which is the main breathing muscle. Can you imagine, please, the trunk, the human trunk, if you extract and throw away the arms and the legs and the head? Not a good image, that's for sure. As a two-story building that has ground floor and first floor. These two floors are surely separated by a floor, which is a ceiling for the ground floor and the floor for the first floor. Thus, it is divided into two outranks by the diaphragm. Is the floor. But a nice architect came and said, I will make this floor like a dome. It's like a dome of a church, because this is its way to live. On top of this, there are the lungs and the heart. At the bottom, there is no empty space in the trunk. There is the liver, big organ, it's the stomach, and the intestine, and all the other organs, the kidneys, the pancreas, whatever. The female genitals, because they are inside, whereas male genitals hang outside. And if you are born a muscle, because it's a muscle, very thin, like a parachute. If you're a muscle, you can do only two things: contract and release. Contract and release. And this diaphragm, this dome, goes down and contracts, and goes up and relaxes. It is difficult to perceive something that relaxes upright. It relaxes, usually every object relaxes downwards. This relaxes upwards, but there are other objects that also relax upwards, like a spring. If you press it, you create tension in the molecules of the spring, and then it relaxes upwards. The trampoline, you jump onto the trampoline, and then it goes down, and all its molecules are full of strength and tension. And then by releasing itself, throws you up. So does the diaphragm. Goes down, presses onto the internal organs. The internal organs don't like this, but of course they are very, very soft. And pressing down, press from the turn, the abdominal muscles from the inside, and this happens. Presses down, then expands. Relaxes up, everything goes back into place. Presses down, belly expands. Relaxes up, everything goes back into place. So, breath belongs to the stomach, belongs to the belly. Good athletes always learn how to belly breathe in. It is not very sexy, to say, in the beach, because we all suck in our abdominal muscles in order to be sexy, because, we follow the values of TV, of the media, of the magazines. And we need to have a washboard of an abdomen. But this should be always soft in order to comfort breath. Japanese and Chinese put the center of the body 10 centimeters inside the navel, the belly button. It's an imaginary spot, which is the center as they consider it. Pilates as well puts all the strength of the body, the foundation, here in the powerhouse. So this little imaginary dot, the dantian, moves, and the rest of the body moves along with it. It turns, and the rest of the body turns. Goes back, all the body goes along with this promenade. This is how the diaphragm contracts and breath comes in and relaxes, and breath goes out. Contracts, loses the shape of the parachute, and relaxes, and the breath goes out. And this stream of breath that goes up, there are the vocal folds that take over. and then, and if I have my tongue tremble in this airstream that comes from the inside, it becomes. If I close my lips in a certain way, everything regarding the articulation starts from here to here. From here to here is just always a sigh of relief. Would you like to feed in a sigh of relief? Think something from your past. Take from the pool of the sadness, which is always fuller than the pool of happiness. And can you feed a sigh of relief? You can be just breath, or it can be sound. Mio Dio. So this is how breath works. This is how the voice works. But the main part of this presentation is how the voice doesn't work. Because voice is here to reveal my truth. I'm designed like this. Have you seen the babies, how strong their tantrums are, how strong they scream when they want something? One could say it is a matter of life or death, because when the mother would leave a child or the cub or the little bear somewhere in order to hunt and collect food, she has to fight them again. And she hides them in the bush, and then with these tantrums and these very loud voices that are heard millions of miles away, not millions, but miles away, help mother find again the children and feed them. So it's a life or death desire from a child to want something and ask for it in a very, 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 very strong way. I want this, I want that. And as the story goes, it's a little funny story. A child staying in his room senses a life or death desire for the chocolate chip cookie. That's the chocolate chip cookie syndrome. There is such a syndrome, chocolate chip cookie syndrome. So it feels a life or death need for a chocolate chip cookie, and he goes out of his room and he goes towards the kitchen. You've seen by Stanley Kubrick, The Shining, in a hotel, and the doors go by, and the saliva flows, and in the kitchen, let's assume there is a very serene scene where don't exist anymore nowadays, but let's assume it does. His mother stitches peacefully, and his father reads a newspaper. It's 4:00 in the afternoon when all the life or death desires for a chocolate chip cookie arise. And goes to the kitchen, the doors go by, reaches the kitchen, there is the box of the chocolate chip cookies, Chips Ahoy. If you haven't tasted Chips Ahoy, it's hell. They're the best chocolate chip cookies. So reaches there and sees that life or death desire, opens the mouth and said, I want my chocolate chip cookie. And when the mother pierces itself with a needle and his father drops down the newspaper and say, in unison, both parents, you're not a savage. Learn how to be polite. Go back to your room. No chocolate chip cookies for today. He goes back to his room. Doors go by and stay there without the pleasure of the chocolate chip cookie. The next day, at 4:00 in the afternoon, where now you're experienced, or the needs for a chocolate chip cookie arise, life or death, desire for a chocolate chip cookie starts out then from his room and goes to the kitchen. Doors go by, saliva flows. Here is the kitchen, same serene scene inside. Mother's teaching, father reading the newspaper. It's there on the threshold of the kitchen. There is the box, opens the mouth, life or death, desire, and remembers and say, Papa, can I please have 2 chocolate chip cookie? And mother and father in unison reply, yes, this is good. Now we get a good kid. Here is 2 chocolate chip cookies. That means that at a very young age, a little child knows that she can express her feelings, his feelings, as he feels them. Has to make them round and polite and respectable and socially acceptable. What's the society the child lives in? His family, of course. And then take over the teachers and the school and say, don't scream. And say, don't get angry. And you know, anger is one of the most important emotions. It needs to be expressed. You have to throw your hand and flap the table and say, don't do that, or go out. But the child, from the very young age, must comply with the rules of this society. And says, I want a chocolate chip cookie, and please, don't do that. At best, uses other words. At worst, says nothing, and it becomes a vegetable. Do you remember that song by Supertramp called The Logical Song? When I was young, it seemed that life was so wonderful. It has a very beautiful rhythm, and we like to dance with it without paying attention to the words. The words are a punch on the face. Please tell me who I am, because I became dependable, I became cynical, I became a vegetable. Of course, the mother's way is to throw the child into the society, into the ocean of the society. It has to protect it. So there are some truths that need to be told, and other truths that need not to be told. We, for example, see my friend Pier Paolo, after a while, I said, oh, long time no see. Oh, you got so fat. It's a truth that needs not to be said unless I want to destroy Paolo. But, excuse me, are you on diet? Am I going to die, doctor? No, we'll be okay. Not like the American doctors. You have 2 months left. No. Give hope to people. So there are truths that need not to be told, and others that by all means should be told. So it's over with us. I don't love you anymore. Or what you do is hurting my feelings. Please don't do it. Learn how to say no in pros. In the short sense, we may all use that. And finishing this presentation, I want to share with you a very nice text. It's a small text, a poem like a text of the very prominent director in theater of education, Jeff Githam, the late Jalkirchen, before I thank my teachers in the United States, the late Kristen Linklater, hi Kristen, and Andrea Herring, hi Andrea. This poem text is called Lies. Because if you don't say what you feel, you're lying. Lies. When you listen to the speaker of our voice, of our language, listen to it as if it is a foreign language. They say dogs are more intelligent than men, for they understand what men say without understanding the words. Children are the same. They find truth behind the layer of lies that adults' words are. So we teach them to speak our language so that they believe our lies and learn to tell them too. And like us, not know they tell lies. So relearn to listen to our language as if it is a foreign language. Hearing the air that carries the words, sensing the movement of the lips and the stresses of the sounds, the fingers that play upon the body, the eloquent activity of the feet right to the toes, smelling the air that is carrying the words, and the aromas that hang about the body like prisoners on parole, emptying, embracing, seeing an empty world. And then listen to our language like a foreigner, or like a dog, or like a child, or like the expert deaf. Then you may hear the truth that belies men's lives. Thank you.